Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a look at something that's, well, rapidly becoming woven into the fabric of our online lives, Meta's advancements in artificial intelligence, specifically how they're integrating AI across their platforms.
Right. And we're using Kenton Patterson's piece on Future Tech Wise blog as our guide here. It's called Meta's AI Evolution, a vision of empowerment and creativity. What is the Meta app? Quite a title.
It is. So for this deep dive, our mission really is to get beyond just the buzzwords.
Exactly. We want to understand the key features, sure, but also, like, what are the implications? How does Meta see this AI empowering you, the user?
And how might it change how we actually use Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook day-to-day? Basically getting a clear picture of what Meta AI is and what it means for us.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's get right into it then. Patterson's article really centers on this concept, Meta AI. What exactly are we talking about here?
Okay, so Meta AI, as Patterson lays it out, it's basically a generative AI assistant made by Meta, obviously formerly Facebook.
Generative AI meaning it creates stuff.
Exactly. It's not just analyzing data, it can generate new content, like text or even images. Its main purpose is to help you with different tasks right inside the Meta apps you probably already use.
Like Messenger, Instagram?
Yep, Instagram DMs, Messenger, WhatsApp. Patterson also notes that in some places it's even available as like a standalone thing outside the apps.
Interesting. So it's designed to be interactive, right?
Yeah.
Patterson mentions it being conversational, creative.
That's the key. It's meant to feel less like using a tool and more like, chatting with a helpful assistant. It understands natural language.
And the creative part.
Well, it can help you write things, social media posts, photo captions. It can even help brainstorm ideas if you're stuck. And the big thing is it's integrated. It's right there in the platforms.
Okay, let's talk features. The article mentions asking it questions, like anything, trivia, tech help.
Yeah, pretty much. The idea is you can get real-time answers right there in your chat, so you don't have to, jump out to a browser to look something up.
That sounds convenient, like an embedded search engine almost.
Kind of, yeah. But conversational. Tapping into a huge amount of information right where you are.
And it's more than just Q&A, isn't it? You mentioned creative help, like drafting captions. I could see that being a huge help for people.
Oh, definitely. Sometimes you just stare at a photo thinking, what do I even write? Meta AI can give you suggestions, different angles, just get you started.
Takes away that blank page fear.
Exactly. Lowers the barrier a bit.
Now, the creativity thing gets even more interesting with images, right? The article talks about using @Meta AI Imagine in chats.
Yes. That's a pretty big step, I think. Bringing AI image generation directly into your conversations.
So instead of searching for a picture, you just describe it.
Kind of, yeah. You type the command, describe the image you want, and the AI makes it for you, right there in the chat.
Wow, okay. What about this idea of it being a real-time assistant in group chats? Patterson gives examples like planning help, suggestions, even math.
That could really change group dynamics, couldn't it? Imagine planning an outing.
Yeah.
You could ask Meta AI in the group chat, suggest some Italian restaurants near downtown that are open late, or maybe help split a bill afterwards.
Okay. So it adds this layer of practical help within the social space.
Precisely. Potentially making things like planning and coordinating a bit smoother. Though you raise a good point. How does that subtly change how we interact and solve problems together?
Yeah, something to think about. So where's this actually live now? You mentioned Instagram DMs, Messenger, WhatsApp.
Right. And Patterson also mentions potential integration into Facebook search, maybe even the main feed. Plus, there's talk of maybe a dedicated Meta AI app or website eventually.
So they're really weaving it in deep.
That seems to be the strategy. Make it easily accessible, a natural part of the experience.
Okay, let's zoom out a bit. Beyond the specific tools, Patterson talks about Meta's bigger vision. He frames it as enhancing human experience, not replacing us.
Yes, and that's a crucial distinction they seem to be making. It's about augmenting our capabilities, making digital life feel maybe a bit more human, more personalized. It's positioned as collaboration.
Which brings us neatly to personalization. We know feeds are curated, but AI takes it further.
Supposedly, yes. Using AI to understand your preferences, connections, interests with much greater precision. To curate feeds on Facebook and Instagram.
The benefit being?
Well, for users, the hope is more meaningful content, stuff you actually care about. For creators or businesses, it means reaching the right audience more effectively.
But I guess there's always that flip side, right? The filter bubble concern. Does too much personalization limit what we see?
That's the perennial question with algorithmic curation, isn't it? It's a trade-off. Relevance versus serendipity or exposure to different views. The AI is just getting much better at the relevance part.
And personalization extends beyond the feed into search, too. Patterson talks about smarter search, understanding context.
Exactly. It's moving beyond just keywords. The goal is for the AI to grasp the intent behind your search.
Can you give an example?
Sure, like instead of just searching dog-friendly hotels, mountains, you might search plan a weekend mountain trip with my dog. The AI could then potentially offer not just hotels, but maybe hiking trails, dog-friendly cafes nearby, maybe even suggest packing lists based on the context.
Oh, okay. Making discovery feel more natural, less like just querying a database.
That's the idea, more like exploring.
Patterson calls Meta AI the assistant for everyday magic. That's quite a phrase.
It is, isn't it? It captures that idea of having this helpful AI woven into your daily messaging, ready to assist with small things.
Like writing captions, planning events, maybe quick photo edits in a chat.
Yeah, those kinds of practical in-the-moment things, offering suggestions, answers, maybe even design help.
But again, I wonder, does having an AI assistant always ready in your chats change how you communicate? Do you rely less on your own wit or problem solving?
That's a really interesting point. Does convenience sometimes make us less engaged ourselves? It's definitely something to watch as these tools become more common.
And it's not just text, right? The article says Meta AI can work with voice and visuals too.
Mm-hmm. Offering suggestions based on an image, maybe? Or letting you interact via voice makes it more versatile.
Like a creative partner you can talk to or show things to?
Kind of, yeah. Opens up more possibilities for how you might use it.
Okay, this next part feels significant. Reimagining creativity. Patterson says Meta AI empowers users to become creators, generating images, inventing characters.
Yeah, this is where it potentially gets really democratizing.
How so?
Well, it lowers the technical barrier. You might not need advanced graphic design skills to visualize an idea anymore. You can describe it to the AI.
So it opens up creative expression to more people.
That's the potential, yes.
Mhm.
Bringing ideas to life more easily. Of course, it also raises questions about, like, the value of traditional skills.
True. A whole other conversation. But the article mentions future stuff too. Translating audio in reels, generating backgrounds.
Yeah, things like that. Stylized profile pictures, too. It paints this picture of AI becoming a seamless part of creating content. Patterson calls it creative liberation.
So augmenting your creativity, not replacing it.
That's the narrative, definitely. Enhancing your ideas.
Shifting slightly, the metaverse gets a mention. AI powering lifelike digital avatars.
Right. To make the metaverse feel immersive, avatars need to be expressive, dynamic, not just static dolls.
So AI helps them mimic facial expressions, react realistically.
Exactly. It's about adding that layer of nuance and responsiveness needed for believable social interaction in a virtual space.
Now, we've talked a lot about user benefits, but Patterson also touches on businesses. AI helping them, especially small businesses, with ads.
Yeah, optimizing ad delivery, making it more efficient for businesses to connect with people who might actually be interested in what they offer.
So better targeting.
Essentially, yes.
Yep.
Which can be a big deal for smaller companies with limited budgets. The article also mentions other things like AI for image recognition to help with accessibility, so broader community benefits too.
And throughout all this, what about privacy? AI needs data, right?
It does. Patterson briefly mentions Meta uses a mix of public data, licensed data, and, importantly, user-generated content from their platforms to train these models.
Which always raises questions.
Absolutely. Meta states they're focusing more on transparency and giving users control over their data and how AI uses it, but well, that's an ongoing area of scrutiny for any company working with AI at this scale.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. So wrapping up, Patterson ends on this idea of an augmented future.
Yeah, moving the conversation from what can AI do to what can people do with AI.
Shifting the focus to empowerment.
Exactly. Framing AI as a tool to enhance our skills, our creativity, our digital lives.
So if we boil down this deep dive on Patterson's article, Meta's AI isn't just one thing, it's being deeply integrated everywhere. The big idea seems to be empowerment, better personalization, easier creativity, instant information, all within the apps we already use.
Yeah, that sums it up well. It's positioned as a helper, a collaborator, something to enhance the experience, not just automate it.
Which leaves us with a final thought, maybe for you listening. As these AI tools get smoother, more integrated into WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, How might that change your daily habits on these platforms?
Right. What new ways of interacting or creating might open up for you personally as AI becomes, just part of the furniture online?
Definitely some interesting things to ponder. Thanks for joining me for this deep dive.